everyone, it's Misty from TheJollyFatElf, and I'm back today with another card making video. And today I want to walk you through how I get inspiration for the cards I use, and more specifically for color. I take a lot of cues from home design, actually, and we made a card, excuse me, not too long ago, if you remember, that used the colors navy and coral, and those are the colors that are going to go into my dining room. And so today I want to show you how I sometimes come up with the color combinations for cards or even for rooms in my house. So as you may notice that I don't have my normal stamp set and paper pad for you, because I thought we would go to Pinterest and we would choose a color scheme for this card. So I'm on my homepage, and as you can see, I have a mix of cards and design and all sorts of other stuff on my homepage. So I'm actually going to search, and a great color place to get color inspiration is Design Seeds, S-E-E-D-S, and I will leave that down below or flash it across the screens. And whoever runs that has already put together great color combinations, and a lot of times they're colors that you find in nature. So I'm gonna search Design Seeds color palette, and we'll see what we'll pull up here. And as you can see, there's tons and tons and tons of different color palettes available. So I'm going to go back up to the top, and I'm actually going to pick the very first one. And you can see those colors, I think. So to me, it looks like this is like crumb cake. That's cherry cobbler. This looks like early espresso. Oops. Early espresso, and then soft sky, maybe a smoky slate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video, and I'm going to go look for a paper pad or just pull some cardstocks that go with this color palette, and when I get back, we'll start making a card. So I'll be right back. Okay, everyone, I'm back. So as you recall, this was the color scheme that I picked out, and this is the paper pad I found. This is the Jolly paper pad from American Crafts, and I believe this came out a couple of years ago. Yep, 2012. As always, if I can link to it, I will down below. It's kind of hard to tell on the colors with the colors on the camera, but this almost perfectly matches this, except with the addition of green. And that's another thing to consider. You don't have to pull every single color from this color palette, but it gave us a really good starting point. So let me show you what stamp sets I'm going to use. Move that to the side. So I'm going to be using this cute little stamp from WPlus9. This is called Merriest Wishes, and I'm using the elf that's in the stocking. And for my sentiment, I'm using the Season's Greeting stamp from Mama Elephant, and I'm going to be using this Happy Holidays. So I'm actually going to be coloring in this video with my Spectrum Noir. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stamp our elf, and I'm going to be using my favorite things, Black Licorice Hybrid ink. And I'm using some paper tray ink, Stamper Select White. I really enjoy coloring on it. It's really up to you what you like to use. I'm just inking up my stamp, and I'm gonna stamp it right there. Close enough. I didn't get perfect right here, but I'm actually going to bring in the pattern papers. Let me show you those. These are the 4 patterns I picked. I picked this polka dot. I picked this brown with like the garland hanging. I picked this blue kind of soft sky pool party polka dot. And I picked this cherry cobblerish print. And I'm actually going to use these 2 for my stocking. So I'm going to ink the stocking back up. And we're going to actually do some paper piecing. So I'm just going to stamp this down here in the corner. Make sure you see what I'm doing. I'm gonna make sure that I get this really good. And then I'm gonna stamp just the bottom corner on this blue. Put my ink away before I get it everywhere. And I'll just do that in this corner down here so we have as little waste on our paper as possible. Perfect. Okay, so I have my pieces cut out and I went ahead and re-stamped and recolored the little dude on a smaller piece of paper. So I'll show you that in just a second. But I'm gonna take my basic black Stampin' Right marker and I'm gonna take the brush tip and I'm gonna go around, because I don't know about you, but I cannot cut perfectly. And I don't want any of the white core in this paper showing. So I'm just taking my marker, using the brush tip and going around. And any black marker with a brush tip like this will work. I'm gonna do the same thing to these two little blue pieces. Because I wish I was a perfect color, but unfortunately I'm not. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this all glued together. I'm gonna bring in my Tombow Mono liquid glue for this. And I'm gonna go ahead and glue down the stocking first. My color balance just looks all kinds of crazy on this video. I may have to play around with it a little bit. I apologize if the color is wonky. In place. And I like using liquid glue when I'm paper piecing, just so I can move stuff around to get it where I need it. There we go. Okay, I'm going to use the tiniest bit of glue. In fact, I'll probably put it on the paper like that. Okay, then I'm going to take my cherry cobbler marker and I'm going to color this hanger piece of material right here in. And you can see how close of a match this paper really is to cherry cobbler. It's pretty close. And then I'm going to take a gray marker, and you can use really probably any gray marker that you have. I'm going to use my Spectrum Noir. This is IG2, and I'm going to add in some shading. So this paper looks like it was meant to be here, and it's not just flat. And it kind of ties it all in together. And it's just a little bit, just enough so it doesn't like this paper doesn't really belong. Okay, and then I think I'm done with him for a minute. I do feel like I want something behind him, but I'm not sure just yet. So I'm gonna keep going. My idea is I used the, what did I do with them? On film framelits from Stampin' Up, and that's what these look like. And I cut out this Polaroid, and I wanted to mount him in the Polaroid, but he definitely needs a background. So let's bring in some blendabilities. And I'm going to use the Coastal Cabana, and I'm going to use the lightest color. And this will also bring in some of that light blue from the Inspiration color piece. ahead and bring in our Polaroid frame and see how we want that to fit. It's like, do we want more of the stocking? Do we want less of the stocking? I think less of the stocking. So let me bring in a scratch piece of paper so I can add glue to the back of this. And again, I'm going to use some liquid glue just so we can move this around a little bit. And I'm using the thinnest of thin lines. And again, I think I want less of the stocking to show. I think that looks good. And we may have to trim it up a little bit, and that's all right. Okay, I really like how that looks. I think that looks pretty cute. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so I have a card base, cut it 5 1/2, and I scored it 4 1/4. Let me zoom back out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and attach this brown piece with some snails. And this brown piece is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm using this, this card base is crumb cake, if I forgot to mention it. And I got it really crooked. That's what I get for trying to rush. Okay. Add this piece of polka dot paper that measures 2 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to put this centered in between this garland paper. Okay, I really like how that's looking. And then I'm going to attach this with some dimensional adhesive. Maybe. Where did my dimensionals go? I can never find my dimensionals. Here's some. Or maybe not. I think this little elf guy is so stinking cute. I need my bucket. You know what, I'm gonna go ahead and add one over here. You don't have to add nearly this many dimensionals, but I'm just super obsessed with making sure this thing stays on as it goes through the mail. Did I get a little? Nope, missing one. Okay, and I'm gonna off-center this just a little bit. Kind of want to take it to the side. Super, super cute. Okay, so let's stamp our sentiment. See if this is going to fit perfectly. So I'm going to bring in some cherry cobbler ink from Stampin' Up. And if you're new to photopolymer ink, or excuse me, photopolymer stamps, they will stain, but it doesn't harm the stamp whatsoever. So don't be afraid to get inky. So I'm going to stamp this right here. And there we have it. Perfect. Absolutely love this sentiment from Mama Elephant. Such pretty handwriting. So there we go. Such a cute card. It was a little bit more involved with the coloring and then the paper piecing. But this is one of those cards that you could do. Again, we're doing one a week for Festive Friday. So this is one of those that could be a special card maybe for your child. If you do that elf on a shelf, this would be a really cute card. those kinds of things. So thank you so much for joining me for another Festive Friday. This is week number 4, which is kind of crazy, blowing my mind. But hopefully this will help you with some ways to find inspiration. So check out Pinterest, not only for great card designs by other crafters, but almost anything can be inspiration, and then you just find the colors in your stash. So thanks so much for joining me. As always, links will be down below to what I can link to as far as supplies list goes, link to my blog, link to my store, all that good stuff. On the Inslate, you can actually click the annotations and go directly either to my Stampin' Up! Website or to subscribe. So thank you so much. Like I said, leave me a comment down below to let me know if you would rather the sentiment be on the front or on the inside, or maybe both. Thank you so much for joining me. Please give this video a thumb up if you like it, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next week for another Festive Friday. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.